Even if you could use your smartphone or any camera to do photogrammetry, having access to a configurable camera allowing you to manually set up how you take photos will be better. Let's see how you should configure your camera in this clip. Same as the lighting, which should be consistent, your camera configuration should remain the same for all the photos you take. This is why it is better to use a camera that can be set to manual mode. You don't want to use the automatic adjustment of the aperture, the speed, the ISO, the white balance, and so on, because this could truly impact the color, the brightness, and the sharpness of your images and result to a non-consistency in your photo series. That said, now let's talk about what should be a good camera configuration for photogrammetry. First, you want your ISO to be low, because high ISO means a lot of grain noise on your image. Grain is always different from a picture to another, so it could impact the point detection. You are the one who knows your camera, so I can't tell you to use 200 ISO or 800, it really depends of your camera. New cameras can go pretty high in ISO before being noisy. Do your test to find which is the great values to fit your lighting conditions. The second important parameter is the shutter speed. You want your shutter speed to be fast enough, especially if you are shooting a human being. That will help you to make sure you don't generate motion blur on your images while moving around the subject and fastly taking pictures in burst mode. Also, the shutter speed could impact how fast your burst mode is working. One more time, it depends of your lighting condition. But I wouldn't go under 1/250th if possible. If you do so, be careful to remain perfectly still while taking your photos. If the subject must not move, the photographer must hold his breath while taking pictures as well. Now, the third important thing here, you want a long depth of field to avoid any blurry areas. Blur will kill your 3D reconstruction as it blocks the feature detection and the overall accuracy. So set your camera to a minimum of 8 f-stops and more if your lighting condition allows it. While I'm advising you all of this, you must think, oh, but to achieve what Florian is telling us, we need perfect lighting conditions. Otherwise, everything will be dark. Well, I know these setups, low ISO, high speed, long depth of field, are usually working only under bright environments. But I'm just giving you an idea of the perfect setup. According to that, try to find the right balance fitting your lighting. As long as you do your best with all the points explained in this clip and in the previous one, you should be alright. Now, a couple of other things regarding your camera. The white balance should be set to anything you want, but not automatic. Automatic white balance could change the white color from an angle to another, according to your subject and your background. The software won't understand why the whites are more yellows in a photo and more blues in another. And that will have a harmful effect on your 3D reconstruction. If you don't have the time to do a proper white balance, just use one of the presets of your camera, like the cloudy day preset for instance, just to make sure your whites remain the same for your entire photo series. If you don't like the white grading balance, it will be a piece of cake to adjust your texture color afterwards. Now let's talk about the focus. If you follow my advice of using a small aperture, like a minimum of 8 f-stop, even 16 if you can, the focus should be more or less good all the time on your subject. However, it could get blurry easily if the focus is made on the background accidentally. Well, it's a tricky part. Either you could set up a manual focus, but then it means that you need to be accurately always at the same distance from your subject. Or you can keep your automatic focus, but then be careful that your focus points are targeting your subject. Now let's talk about your lens. Lens distortion is not the worst thing ever. You could do a 3D scan with a GoPro or a drone with a wide-angle lens. However, you will have a more accurate result with a non-distorted image. Last thing, the picture size. That will really depend on your camera. But if you try to shoot big 18 million pixel photos in burst mode, at some point the camera would just slow down because of the writing time of your photos on the memory card. For that reason, I usually decrease the size of my images, like 6 million pixels. It's already great. You can do a little bit more and go full resolution if your camera allows you to do so, and if your model is not moving, so you have all the time you want to take the pictures. As well, Autodesk Remake, the software we are going to use, is taking only JPEG files, so no needs to shoot in RAW. Alright, so I think this is it. So in the next clip, I will just quickly show you the result of my photo shoot, which is going to be the photo series used in this course.